Welcome back to Imola here this afternoon for the final race of the first round of the 2022 Italian F4 Championship, presented as ever by WSK Promotion. Well, you can see that the sun is shining here in Motor Valley, but that was not the case. Around about 1 hour ago, we had a torrential downpour right in the middle of the Formula Regional race, but fortunately that has now cleared and we are ready to race on the Pirelli slicks here in the sunshine in the Italian springtime. Alex Dunn won race 2 earlier this morning. Rafa Kamara won race 1 yesterday. We've had a bit of a mixed grid because we had a slightly wet qualifying yesterday. The grid is mixed up. Ivan Dominguez, the Portuguese driver, will start on pole position in just a few minutes' time. You can see Kasper Stuka. He's down on the grid. He starts out of grid 2 and he's about to speak to Laura Calder now.
So, for you, it's the second season in Formula 4 and a fantastic drive this morning to position 2. Can you do one better in race 3?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I think we have a very good car. And yeah, with these tires, I think we can make a very good result. So yeah, I hope for P1.
Thank you.
Kasper Stuka finished in position 2 this morning. It was a US Racing 1-2-4. Alex Dunn taking the win. Kasper second, and Marcus Amann finishing in P4. Ivan Dominguez, he was the race leader off the start. He's about to start from pole position, courtesy of taking pole. His second fastest lap overall in a wet dry qualifying yesterday. He starts in grid 1 for this 33 car field in race 3 here this afternoon. 4 Team Iron Lynx who are in form this weekend. He's immediately on the grid ahead of his teammate Maya Werg. She finished in P6 after running in P4 for most of the race this morning. And car 83 for the Iron Dame. She starts out of grid 3 right behind her teammate for Iron Lynx, Ivan Dominguez, the Portuguese driver, car 83. On pole position as the cars make their way up onto the grid, which is now fortunately dry. As we mentioned, it was black, it was dark, it was pouring rain. You wouldn't believe, not more than half an hour ago. Great to see the crowd back here in the grandstands. One of our former drivers, Pietro Armani, to the left of your screen. He raced for Iron Lynx, who Ivan Dominguez.
So Maya, yesterday 10th and today this morning 6th, and maybe now you can do a race, podium?
Yeah, I'll try for sure. That's the goal, of course, but it's not easy. This morning was difficult. I was P4 until the last couple of laps, so yeah, we'll try. We know what we have to improve for this race, so yeah, I'll try my best.
Thank you.
Maya Werg there, she starts out of grid 3, just getting back to Pietro. An interested spectator actually was her teammate. Last year they came to grief at Vallelunga. She starts out of grid 3. Pietro watches on from the grandstand. His former team there, 1-3 on the grid. Ivan Dominguez. Unfortunately, we won't get a word with the Portuguese driver. He starts on pole position to the bottom right of your screen in car 89 for the Iron Lynx team. A big weekend for the Italian team, also racing in the World Endurance Championship at Spa-Francorchamps yesterday. The second round of the WSC at Spa, where we do race for the first time in the F4 Championship in 2022. From Portugal, here in Italy, on pole position, Ivan Dominguez. Last year racing for the Lennox Racing Team in the Charles Leclerc kart in WSK competition. Had a good run in the WSK Euro Series and the Supermaster Series. And Kasper Stuka, he was racing in WSK karting competition in 2020. An introductory year in F4 in 2021. He starts grid 2 after finishing race 2 this morning. Dominguez on pole, Kasper out of 2. Then it's Maya out of 3 for the Iron Dames and TB out of 4. Rafa Kamara, race 1 winner yesterday, and a storming drive from 31st to 8th this morning. He's alongside Frederick Lund. Then we go to James Wharton, who's alongside Martinez Stensone. Antonelli, 2 DNFs so far this weekend. The race 2 winner, Alex Dunn. Victoria Blochina, Nikita Petra and the Russians on the 6th row of the grid. Jonas Reed, Charlie Wirtz, Elias Barandio and Conrad Larsen, also 2 DNFs so far this weekend for the Dane. Marcus Amann, P4 this morning. The 9th row of the grid alongside the driver from Maputo in Mozambique, Pedro Perino, Marcus Flagg, Emo Fittipaldi Jr., Arias Dirkmedja, Nikhil Bora, the 2 Americans together. Escotto, Brando Padoea, Partishev, Clero, Jules Castro, Andrea Frastinetti, Ethanesha, Il Siciliano Alfio Spina, Ismail Ahmed from Uzbekistan, Giovanni Maschio, and Jaina Rishab from Singapore for BWR Motorsport on grid 33. Down through Tamburello on this, the formation lap. Race 3, round 1 of 7 for 2022. So we've got 2 races out of 21 in the books to kick off a new season, the championship, which dates back to 2014. Great to have your company wherever you're watching us live all around the world from the home of the Emilia-Romagna Formula 1 Grand Prix. This legendary circuit, which has had chicane after chicane added to it over the decades, necessarily, as the cars have just got faster and faster. They climb the hill. This is coming out of Piratella, up towards Acqua Minerale, and then the high chicane, Variante Alta, as it literally translates to in English. Tremendous sight, the most competitive junior motor racing series in the world, with all due respect to all the others around the planet. This is the all-new Tata's T421 chassis as well. Let's pay some credit to the Tata's group, Gianfranco Di Bellis, Giovanni Delfino, who have worked around the clock since 2020 to design and manufacture over 100 of these beautiful cars. It is a work of art. There are more coming on the way. 33 on the grid. Powered as ever by the turbocharged Abarth engine. Pirelli tyres, of course, back with us for another season. The all-new Tata's T421, a slight increase in power as well, around about 12 to 15 horsepower more. So just under 175 or 180 horsepower, a little bit quicker in a straight line. In the past, we have seen top speeds here at Imola in Formula 4 of, I kid you not, 248 k's an hour. Kasper Stuka, car 37, Meyer in car 83. There's Taylor, 77, the 2-time WSK Champions Cup karting champion for the PHM racing team, who were on the podium yesterday with Nikita Bedrin. Starts alongside another Russian, Victoria Blokina, the Muscovite. There is Alex Dunn, 22, the race 2 winner this morning. Nikita in 15, Jonas Reed, a second-generation racer. Charlie Wirtz did not set a lap in qualifying yesterday, but did come through to finish mid-pack. That's where he starts this morning. He's got a quick car. Charlie Wirtz, son of 3 times Le Mans 24-hour winner. Alex Wirtz can't be with us this weekend. He's with Toyota at Spa after their victory yesterday in the WEC. Dominguez on pole position to the right of your screen, as we wait for Ahmed, Maschio and Rishab to form up at the back of the grid. Andreas Jensen at the centre of your screen, the team that won in 2016 with Marcus Siebert. The green flag flies at the back of the grid. The 5 red lights for the final time this weekend at Imola. We race. Great start by Kasper on the outside of the front row of the grid. Rafa Kamara already trying to go by Maya Berg. Dominguez from pole position leads the field down into Tamburello. They're side by side. Maya Berg, she holds off just the Prema Power Team car, but she's off in the grass. Gets back on mid-pack, a disastrous start for the Iron Dames driver, who was in position 3 going into turn 1, but she'll go into Tosa Curve in about 15th position. Great start by Kasper Stuka. Taylor Barnard, TB, dives down the inside into Tosa. Rafa on the charge. Dominguez in second place is the pole sitter for Team Iron Lynx. Kasper Stuka for US Racing finished P2 this morning. He goes position 1 in the opening lap of the race. There's the standing water at the top of the hill from the downpour we had just over an hour ago. Kasper Stuka leads the field down into Acqua Minerale for the first time. Dominguez in P2, Taylor Barnard, Rafa Kamara, James Wharton. The Prema Power Team duo just ahead of Alex Dunn, who's up to P6, Antonelli Stensonet, Bedrin, Lund, Wirtz, Reed, Lausen, Blokina, Aman, Sperandio, Perino, Flack, Dirkbenchen, Escotto, Nikhil Porter, Maya Berg, back in position 22. A clean start for the final race of the weekend and a super getaway from Kasper Stuka. As Rafa Kamada, the race 1 winner, locks up into Ravata 1. James Wharton right behind, just ahead of Alex Dunn. There's Jonas Reed. Good start for the German in car 41 for PHM Racing. They come across the line for the first time. Kasper Stuka, the pole for the German team, has got the lead. Ivan Dominguez, the pole sitter, side by side. Rafa Kamada goes down the inside, gets the slipstream from Taylor Barnard. Wheel to wheel as they go into Tamburello. Alex tries to get the job done. Wheel to wheel with the Australian. Dunn sends it. Goes airborne. Wow, how did the Irishman get away with that? A huge moment. That was not the fault of the drivers, I'll tell you right now. It was the sausage curbs on the outside of Tamburello. He's off into the gravel, is the PHM team driver. That's Nikita Bedrin, in fact. We'll try and get a replay of what happened to Alex Dunn just a moment ago. Oh, they continue to be a source of contention. The concrete pieces which are bolted to the outside of the curbs, as we've got one going round further back in the pack. And Alex Dunn in car 22, it resembled a light aircraft there for a moment. That could have been catastrophic. There is Antonelli going through. He's been the big beneficiary. Take a look at this, down into Tamburello. Dunn, Wharton going wheel to wheel. They did not touch. Why on earth do we still have the concrete verging on the outside of the circuit? All 4 wheels off the ground. He took off. The Tartas T421 resembled a Cessna there very momentarily. As one of the PHM cars going around, that was Victoria Blochina, who's had a great run in her first time out in the Italian F4 Championship, but she was turned around in turn 7 down into Tosa. And we stay green, so Kasper Stuka from Dominguez. There is James Wharton, right behind Taylor Barnard. Dominguez, Rafa! The race 1 winner goes through into position 2. Taylor Barnard, James Wharton right behind. Kasper Stuka is storming away. There is the confirmation at the bottom left of your screen, a 1:47.124. He's got a 1.8 second lead over Kamada, Dominguez, Barnard, Wharton, Dunn, Antonelli, Stensonev, Frederick Lund up into P9, and Nikita Bedrin, position 10. Good drive also from Charlie Wirtz, the second generation racer who just got a glimpse of car 7 for the Prema Power team, the English-Austrian driver from Monte Carlo. He's just a place outside the top 10. The middle of the 3 Wirtz brothers. As we take a look at this moment, into Acqua Minerale, Andrea Frassinetti going round, and he's beached it in the gravel. That's bad luck for Frassinetti. The small family-run team from here at Imola has managed to extract himself, as you can see. Probably aided by the rain which packed down the gravel just a few moments ago. We get back to the battle for the final step of the podium. Dominguez is under attack. He's in position 3, right ahead of Taylor Barnard and James Wharton. James finishing position 3 this morning, wants to get back up onto the podium again. Into Ravata, Taylor Barnard, TB sends it. As Dominguez gives him racing room, runs wide, and James watches on, both Ivan and Taylor ahead of him. Behind is Alex Dunn. How on earth is still in the race? There's Victoria, keeping out of harm's way. She'll go a lap down, but she's still in the race. As Dominguez fends off the challenge from James Wharton and Taylor Barnard. They go side by side at over 240 k's an hour. Dominguez on the inside, Barnard on the outside. Wharton tries to take the both of them, and the race 2 winner, Alex Dunn, right behind as well. This is a fantastic fight. Race 3, round 1, the Italian F4 Championship, powered by Arbath, presented by WSK Promotion, here at the home of the Emilia-Romagna Formula 1 Grand Prix. Max taking the victory right here 14 days ago. And at the moment, Kasper Stuka, whose teammate's about to make the move on James Wharton. Alex Dunn, can he go through? Well, Alex finished in position 1 this morning. His teammate Kasper Stuka was second, but the pole's in P1 at the moment. Alex lucky to still be in the race after launching over the concrete verging into Tamburello a few moments ago. He saw nothing but blue sky, reminiscent of Mark Webber at Valencia about 1 decade ago. He's still in the race, and he's made up a place over Jimmy James Wharton. Antonelli behind as well. Good recovery for Andrea Antonelli on his home circuit. The boy from nearby Bologna at DNF yesterday with a 6 gearbox. A broken front wing in race 2, but Andrea Kimi Antonelli, car 12 for the Bremer Power Team. He's in P7 from Stensoni as we go back to the front. Kasper Stuka slides down into Rivazza 1. Rafa is coming. The gap last time was 1.4 seconds. We'll check it between the Pole and the Brazilian. As they come across the line to start lap 5, this 30-minute plus 1 lap race. It's down to 1.1. He takes 0.3 of a second out of him. A 1:46.195. A storming drive from Rafa Kamada. If you missed race 2 this morning, Rafa Kamada started out of grid 31. He came storming through the field to finish in position 8. It was an incredible drive. And he's got the pole, he's got the race leader, Kasper Stuka, in his sights. There's Wharton on the back of Dominguez. Dunn has gone through on the Portuguese driver as well, Alex Dunn. As Dominguez goes out into the gravel, loses not 1, not 2, but 3 places. Mark goes through, makes up the places. They go into Tosa. And behind that's Frederick Lund as well. Bedran Wirtz join the battle for the final position inside the top 10. Fantastic racing. The Italian F4 Championship presented by WSK Promotion here at Imola. There is Dominguez under attack. Bedran. Nikita will try and take him. In fact, he's gone through. Dominguez has lost another couple of positions. There is Charlie Wirtz. Car 7 for the Bremer Power Team. Now inside the top 10 is Charlie. The middle of the 3 Wirtz siblings. Younger brother Oscar racing for the Tony Kart Racing Team. Older brother Felix, sometime a rallycross driver, emulating his grandfather. And of course their father Alex, 3 times Le Mans 24-hour winner, and knows this circuit very well from his days with Benetton, and also a test driver with McLaren. Charlie Wirtz now in position 10 from grid 16. Here's Conrad Lausen, he's in 14th place. Car 20 is the driver from Copenhagen. Just ahead of Pedro Perino. We speak about the internationality of the field. Pedro Perino from Maputo in Mozambique as James Wharton goes through and takes his teammate. That's Antonelli just behind. Perino, the African driver from the south of the Dark Continent for US Racing. Perino trying to break inside the top 10. He's fighting with Conrad Lausen, Arias Dirkmedji, and the American just behind, Bora and Maya Berg. She's into 18th place, what could have been for the Iron Dames team driver after starting out of grid 3, but she was into the gravel after a few hundred metres, forced out wide. We'll see her back for round 2 of the championship at Misano, not too far from here at Imola on June 5, the second round of the championship, as we watch the Bremer Power Team drivers go down the hill into Acqua Minerale. Wharton is 13, Antonelli is 12. They're 5 and 6 on the road. That is Nikita in car 15 for the all-new PHM Racing Team. Overseen by Vito van Koireren, the Dutch driver who is managing this all-new outfit. Great start for them yesterday with Nikita on the podium in P3. Bedran inside the top 10. As we go back to the fight for the front, the gap was 1.5 seconds. It was 1.1 seconds last time we looked as they come across the line to start lap 7. It is down to 0.6 of a second. Rafa close enough to get the slipstream now from the pole. Kasper Stuka in the proverbial DRS zone as they race across the line at over 240 k's an hour. In these F4 cars, fastest lap of the race, no surprise, 1:46. He's almost into the 1:45s. What a race from Rafa. Consistently 2 to 3/10 of a second faster than Kasper Stuka, the pole, desperate to take a victory here. His second year in the Italian F4 Championship. Speaking to Lauda on the grid before the start of the race, but Rafa is coming, car 88. The Ferrari driver academy pilot, last year's start in 2021 with a victory in the WSK Champions Cup in the OK category for Kart Republic. The Oak Racing Team driver from the Brazilian capital of Brasilia, so quick here this afternoon. Car 88 in second place. Dan Barnard, the Irishman, leads the Englishman in this super international field. There is Taylor, also won the title that we just spoke about a moment ago. The WSK Champions Cup, the traditional season opener to the international karting scene. Taylor won it in 2019 and 2020. And Rafa last year, 12 months ago, or just over, at Adria Raceway in 2021. Casper has got the lead. Rafa too far back this time to make a move into Rivarta 1 as we approach half race distance. The final race of round 1, the 2022 Italian F4 Championship. He checks the mirrors, does Casper. Rafa will get the slipstream. They come across the line. He gives the tow away to the South American. And the pole for the US racing team nervously leads. Rafa is coming. On the charge is Kamada. Will he make a move down into Tamburello? He dives down the inside. But Casper goes deep, holds him off for the moment. Tries desperately to hold on to position 1. His teammate Dunn's in the background in position 3. So lucky to still be in the race is the Irishman. He's 5 seconds behind this battle for the lead of the final race, the first round of the Italian F4 Championship into Tosa. Nice line from Kasper Stuka. The gap is officially 0.18 seconds. You can see on your screen that's no more than 1 car length as they race up the hill into Piratella and then down in towards Acqua Minerale. This is the Piratella corner. And they go down the hill into the mineral water corner. Down through the gearbox. And now accelerating hard into the high chicane, Alta Variante. The famous corner where Charles famously, or infamously, turned around the Ferrari 2 weeks ago, right there when he took too much ripple strip. Goes out wide, does Casper. This is good driving from Kasper Stuka. So it is not a given that Rafa will go by as we go further back in the pack. This is Alfio Spinner, Pedro Clairol, and Jules Castro, the Belgian, just ahead of Marcus Flack. Clairol just ahead. There's Ivan Dominguez. He's dropped down to 14th place ahead of Perino. There's the African driver just behind Dirkmetian, Bora, and Maya. She is recovering. She's lapping really quickly. In fact, she's faster than most of the drivers ahead of her. But she's down in 18th place. She tries to get a run from Nikhil Bora as we see Antonelli and Wharton go wheel to wheel. The 2 Prema Power teammates. Stuka still does hold the lead just. Rafa Kamara, he's so quick, he took 0.3 of a second out of the pole to catch him, but he's still in position 2. There is James Wharton, P5 for the Australian. Ahead of the boy from nearby Bologna, Andrea Kimi Antonelli in car 12. As we've got 1 car off into the gravel, that is car 44, which has retired. Nikhil Bora, the American-born Singaporean, is out. He's parked it off the line. Just a local yellow only for the moment. As the Prema Power Team drivers lose touch with Barnard and Dunn ahead. That's Taylor going down into Acqua Minerale. And we're about to see what happened to Nikhil Bora. He'd already lost the front right into Tamburello. And the American driver is out. So back to the fight for the lead, down into Rivarta, and it is still Kasper Stuka. Rafa Kamara stalks the pole. He caught him from a mile back. Well, not literally. He was 1.5 seconds back, to be precise. And it looked as though it would be just like shooting fish in a barrel. But Stuka holds him off. Rafa Kamara, race 1 winner yesterday. P8 this morning, as we say, with a stunning drive from the back of the grid. And second here this afternoon. Dunn is on the podium at the moment, but he's 6 seconds behind this battle. for the lead of the race. Down into Tamburello. Casper holds him off. Nice driving from Stuka, runs a little bit wide at the exit of turn 3. There's Alex Dunn in third, back to Taylor Barnard, Wharton, Antonelli, and Martinez. Double waved yellow for that 44 car of Nikhil Border, who has just stopped as we look at Alex Dunn, the Irishman in P3. Pulled away from Taylor Barnard for PHM Racing. If it was to finish as they stand right now, Alex Dunn would take the championship lead into round 2 at Misano in 1 month's time. That's on June 5. You can catch all the action live on our various platforms. Great to have your company all around the world for the season opener. The nightmare of the last 2 years is well and truly over. We have people back in the grandstands. We have a great atmosphere in the paddock. The sun is shining. And we're looking at potentially our 3rd different winner from the opening round of the Italian F4 Championship. Stuka holds off Camara. There's Dunn. Rides the ripple strips at the top of the hill at Alta Variante. Taylor Barnard. Wharton, Antonelli. Kimi close to the back of James as they go down into Rafata 1. The 2 teammates cannot afford to come together. As you see Flame shoot out the back of Dunn's car. They do come together. Oh, can you believe that? The 2 teammates. Antonelli and Wharton, they touch. Oh, what a disaster. Wharton's in the gravel. Antonelli continues on. The 2 teammates touch. Martinez, he's the beneficiary, the Norwegian up into P6 for Van Amersfoort Racing. They are good friends off the circuit. They know each other oh so well. But they've touched in the second half of race 3. Antonelli continues on. Wharton, he's down in P11. Into Rivazza, they tried to go wheel to wheel. There's no space into Rivazza 1. Wharton in the gravel, in the grass. He did come across the line in P11. Here's Charlie Wirtz. Behind him, Frederick Lund, Marcus Amand, and James Wharton. Wow. Frederick Lund and car 14, Marcus Amand, who had a storming finish to race 2 this morning, finishing in P4. And Wharton just behind from Jonas Reed, Conrad Lawson. On the wet part of the circuit is Frederick Lund, and James will take 1 position back. Going into Aqua Minerale, at least he's on the inside, which becomes the outside. And in fact, he can't go by Marcus Amand. So that incident is under investigation. We're getting word from race control. It is under investigation, the incident between the 2 teammates. In fact, we've got the safety car out onto the circuit now, which gives Kasper Stuka breathing space. Incidentally, while we were watching that, Rafa did not go by. He's still in P2. He can't go by the pole. As we move into the final third of race 3, round 1 here at Imola. The safety car picks up the race leader, Kasper Stuka, and the field bunch up. Rafa in 2nd place, and Dunn, he was 5 seconds behind the race leaders. This gives the Irishman hope for another victory here this afternoon. So lucky to be in the race after getting airborne off the curbs earlier on. But he's in 3rd, so it's the US racing team at 1 and 3. We had to remove the car off Nikhil Bora. And Brando, by the way, incidentally, has pulled into pit lane as well. So not a good start for the Italian after an alternator failure earlier this morning in race 2. Again, the sausage curbs have claimed a car. Nikhil Bora, that's what happened to the American driver. I don't need to say anything. You saw the damage that those precariously placed sausage curbs do to open-wheel single-seater racing cars. And when I use the word precarious, that's being polite. Antonelli in position 4, but he is under investigation for that incident with his teammate. Stuka has got the race lead. Kamara, Dunn as Brando does rejoin from the exit on pit lane now. He's way down the field in position 29. Antonelli under investigation, position 4. Then it's Barnard, 5. Stensone, Bedran, Wirtz up into 8th. Good drive from Charlie. Lund and Marcus Amand, position 10, just ahead of James Wharton. There's Charlie Wirtz, the most colourful helmet in the field, reminiscent of the one that his father wore for around about 1 decade in his Formula 1 career. He's got a good helmet painted too, this Charlie, without giving too much away. Instagram, Alex Wirtz. You'll know what I'm talking about. He's just behind Veteran and Stensone. You can see we've ticked over 22 minutes of racing, plus 1 lap. The order to the left of your screen there is Stuka, Kamada, Dunn, Antonelli, Barnard, Stensone, Bedran, Wirtz, Lund, Marcus Amand, James Wharton, Jonas Reed, Larson up into 13, Perino, Dominguez, Turkmenjian, Mayaberg, she's in 17th place, Alexander Partishev, 18th, Emo Fittipaldi, a quiet run on debut in the Italian F4 Series. One of 3 drivers whose father did race in Formula 1. Of course, last year we had Lorenzo Petrese racing with the AKM Motorsport team, son of Riccardo Petrese, the 3 drivers whose father raced in the FIA Formula 1 World Championship. Charlie Wirtz, who we just spoke about, Emo Fittipaldi, Emerson watching on live from the other side of the Atlantic. We hope you're enjoying yourself, Emo, over there in Miami. And of course, Brandel Badaware, who's not having a good run, son of Luca Badaware, 1992 Formula 3000 champion. Ferrari test driver for so many years. As the safety car prepares to pull into pit lane, so we will sprint to the flag. Kasper Stuka, can he hold off not only the Brazilian but the Irishman? The 2 drivers behind him have won races 1 and 2 respectively so far this weekend. Antonelli's not out of this either. Whether he's got the speed to match the drivers in front of him, including his teammate Kamada, he is under investigation, let's remember as well. Down into Aqua Minerale, there is still moisture on the inside of the circuit where the trees in this beautiful park setting cover the circuit in the sunshine. It's actually quite warm, just over 20 degrees. Well, warmish. It's certainly warmer than it was a few months ago here in Italy. Into springtime in the Northern Hemisphere. The track is dry. There's Brando at the back of the track. After that torrential downpour earlier on, we will sprint to the checkered flag on the Pirelli slicks. So Kasper Stuka from Poland for the US racing team. Kamada right behind. And the race 2 winner this morning, Alex Dunn, so lucky to be in the race with Antonelli breathing down his neck. Kasper goes. Great restart from Kasper Stuka. The safety car pulls into pit lane, and we sprint to the checkered flag. We race green once again here at Imola. Kamada tries to get the slipstream. There is Martinez pulling out on Taylor Barnard. Kamada dives down the inside. Kasper, superb, holds him off. Ruffer has to think about the championship as well. Down into Tamburello. Kasper's also thinking about it, obviously. His 2nd season in the F4 Series. It's the championship debut for the South American. Dunn in 3rd place, Antonelli behind. Taylor Barnard, Martinez Sensone, Bedran, Wirtz, Amand and Frederick Lund. They go into Tosa. Is Jonas Reed, just holds off Conrad Larson. And Perino right behind. They go 2 wide as they race up the hill. Conrad almost into the grass. The 20 Prema Power Team driver, 20 Prema Power Team car locks up the brake into Piratella. And right behind him, that gives Pedro Perino hope, whose teammate still leads the race. Down into Aqua Minerale. There is Perino, car 11. He'd prefer to have 77, but he said Taylor's stolen that number from me. And Taylor in car 77 is in position 5. The green flag at the top of the hill. The dying stages of race 1 here at Imola. They smash the ripple strip and race down into Revarta 1. Superb from Casper. Holds off Rafa. There's Frederick Lund going through ahead of James Wharton. Still in the race, that incident under investigation will be decided after the checkered flag. So Kasper Stuka, Rafa can't go by, he can't do it. He will get the slipstream, but Stuka's holding him off. Checks the mirrors down into Tamburello 1. As Martinez has a big look at the back of TB. And still, Stuka holds off Kamara. There's Dunn, Antonelli, Barnard, Stensone, Bedron, Verts, Amanda, James Wharton. Superb performance. Drifts it over the ripple strip, does Kasper Stuka. And now into Tosa, up the hill towards Piratella. This is a lap 15. In this 30-minute plus 1 lap race, we're trying to calculate how many laps remaining. Possibly 2 more at the completion of this one. There's Rafa Kamara in ATA, trying desperately to make it 2 victories here. That's the part of the circuit where the trees shadow the circuit, and it's wet offline. Antonelli going through. There's Verts in 7, his teammate. Antonelli, Barnard, Martinez, Bedron, and Charlie Verts. At the top of the hill, Altamariante, Charlie Verts. A good car under him here this afternoon, and he's driving it well. In P8, back to Marcus Zaman, Frederick Lund, the race 2 pole sitter. James Wharton, Jonas Reed, Conrad Larson. There's Antonelli behind Dunn. So Alex does not have the pace to go with Rafa and Kasper in the dying stages. So we believe this is the penultimate lap of the race. Antonelli, a disaster in race 1 with a DNF. A broken front wing in race 2, trying to get up onto the podium. The race 2 winner right ahead goes into the middle of the circuit, puts the 22 US racing car, and holds off Antonelli for the moment at least. Taylor Barnard behind, ahead of Stensone. Kasper superb, desperately trying to hold on for the race win. Alex trying to hold on for another podium and lead the championship going into Misano in 1 month's time. Into Tosa. Stuka has got 0.3 of a second over Rafa Kamara. Antonelli throwing absolutely everything at Alex Dunn. The US racing team, they run 1 and 3. The Prema Power team, they're 2 and 4. Into Piratella and accelerating hard down the hill into Acqua Minerale. A slightly wider line from Kasper Stuka, breaks and then climbs the hill towards Alta Variante. The fight for the lead, the fight for the final step of the podium. So last lap next time across the line. We've got approximately 6 kilometres to race here this weekend. Antonelli trying to get up onto the podium. Watch Alex put it in the middle of the circuit down into Revarta. Last lap board this time round for Kasper Stuka. Goes a little bit wide, as does Alex Dunn. US Racing 1 and 3. The Prema Power team 2 and 4. Kasper Stuka comes across the line to get the last lap board. Desperately trying to hold off the hard-charging South American. Antonelli on the back of Dunn, the dying stages. Race 1, round 1, race 3, round 1 here at Imola. Dunn puts it in the middle of the circuit. Antonelli tries to take the Irishman as Rafa. One last attack on Kasper. It's not over yet. Kasper Stuka superb out front as Antonelli sends it down the inside. They go wheel to wheel, side by side, and Dunn holds him off. Rafa with a big move into Tosa, can't do it. Kasper does not lose his nerve, and Rafa will lose momentum as they climb the hill. Was that the last shot for the race 1 winner, Rafa Kamara? The gap 0.1 between Kasper Stuka and Rafa Kamara. Dunn, Antonelli, Barnard, Martinius for the Van Amersfoort Racing Team. Martinius on the outside of TB, can't quite do it. It's wet off the line. Tries to make the move into Aqua Minerale. And Taylor closes the door. TB says, no, you don't, to the driver that he knows oh so well from the last few seasons in WSK International Karting. The high chicane, Alta Variante for the final time. Antonelli can't go by Dunn. Kamara can't go by Stuka. Into Ravata for the final time, a superb drive. Rafa Kamara wins race 1. Alex Dunn wins race 2. Kasper Stuka, the pole. He started on grid 2, comes across the line. That checkered flag will wave. Kasper Stuka with a superb victory in race 3 at Imola here this afternoon. Stuka wins. 2 victories for US Racing. Kamara home in position 2 and Dunn on the podium 3rd. Antonelli home in 4th place. There's Alfio Spinner coming across the line. Emo Fittipaldi just got the better of the Sicilian out of Ravata. The 2 US Racing teammates, they celebrate, they finish 1-3, and Kasper becomes our 3rd different race winner of the opening round of the Italian F4 Championship. This is what happened on the last lap of the race. One of the VAR cars going straight ahead. Rallycross style, and he continues on. Pedro Claro coming together with Ivan Dominguez on the last lap of the race. Also involved in that, Victoria Blochina, Ethan Isha, Ivan Dominguez, Meyerberg, and Marcus Flack involved in that accident. Well, we got a notification on our timing screen that the full course yellow was brought out. The safety car, or the FCY notification or safety car, also on our timing screen after the checkered flag. We thought that was a timing issue. It was not. It was for that accident on the final lap of the race. Kasper Stuka takes the victory. It's 2 wins for the German team here in Italy. Stuka P1, Kamara P2, and Dunn in 3rd place. What a race here at Imola. Kasper with his maiden victory in the Italian F4 Championship. The pole did not start from pole. He was out of grid 2, the outside of the front row of the grid. But he takes the victory here this afternoon, a super well-deserved win. Stuka with the win from Kamara, and Dunn in 3rd place. What a race. Kasper from Poland in position 1. Rafa, he reeled him in, but he couldn't get by. And Alex Dunn, after that that nerve-wracking moment earlier on, he finishes P3. Good recovery from Antonelli ahead of Barnard, Stensornet, Bedrin, Wirtz, Amand, and James Wharton recovers for position 10. Lund, Perino, Larson, Alexander Partishev does get the checkered flag this time from Arias, Dirkmedjian, Jonas Reed. Fittipaldi got Spinner on the line. And it was Sparandio. Badoer, not a good start to the Italians Championship. Clero, Maschio, Ahmed, Castro, Rishab, and then Isha, Dominguez, Berg, and Flack. They were involved in that incident on the last lap of the race. Alex Dunn is the championship leader going into the next round of the championship. 58 points for the Irishman from Rafa Kamara. And Kasper Stuka in 3rd place on 43 points, 4 behind Rafa. So 3 races of 21 raced in the opening weekend. Kasper Stuka wins the final race here at the opening round of the series. We'll let Casper, he is struggling to take the arrow off it there. Laura is down in pit lane. We'll try and get a word from our race winner in just a moment. Casper smiles, and deservedly so. Alex Dunn comes home in position 3. He's the championship leader. Rafa Kamara, P2. And Kasper Stuka, the race winner, is down in pit lane with Laura now.
So, you did it!
Yes, I did it, finally, the win. Yeah, it was quite a good race, quite boring I would say for me. Just P1 from the beginning was a good start and we had a very good pace, so yeah, quite easy.
So you have no idea what happened in your back?
No, I have no idea, but I'm happy that I won.
Thank you.
Yes, indeed, he did do it. It sounded easy, but it certainly was not. This is how. From pole position, Ivan Dominguez led the field down into Tamburello, but from grid 2, Kasper Stuka would take the lead. Myers' hopes of a victory here this afternoon ended after just a few hundred metres. Kasper Stuka pulled away from the rest of the pack for the US racing team. Dominguez in second place. Rafa was on the charge, up into third as he went by Taylor Barnard. This was a huge moment for Alex Dunn. Shows the strength of the new Tartar's F4 car for 2022. He was able to come home in third place. Rafa on the charge, going by Ivan Dominguez as Taylor Barnard got into this battle for the final step of the podium as well. Dominguez was in the gravel. Ultimately, he would not see the checkered flag with the pole sitter for the Iron Lynx team, falling back through the pack, and ultimately an incident on the last lap of the race. The two teammates, James Wharton, Andrea Antonelli, come together in Rivazza. James coming home P10, Antonelli in P4, but they're still under investigation. Kasper Stuka under attack from Rafa Kamara, who was 1.5 seconds behind, reeled him in but could not get by. And Kasper Stuka takes his maiden victory in the Italian F4 Championship here this afternoon at Imola.
Yes! Fucking good! Yes! Oh, yes!
So our 3 race winners this weekend will all stand on the podium together here in just a moment.
Il nostro direttore è pronto a consegnare I trofei, eccolo che è lì pronto. Pietro, benvenuti, direttore dell'autodromo Enzo Dino Ferrari. Bene. Allora, ascolteremo 3 inni, ascolteremo ovviamente l'inno polacco, l'inno brasiliano e l'inno olandese per quanto concerne i podi in programma quest'oggi.
So we wait for the drivers to come out onto the podium as they make their way up from Parc Ferme. Don't forget, from here we go to Misano, not too far from Imola for round 2 of the championship. That's in 1 month's time. We wait for our 3 race winners to stand on the podium here at Imola this afternoon.
Facciamo un saluto proprio ufficiale insieme a Pietro, benvenuti, il nostro direttore del circuito Enzo Dino Ferrari. Eccoli che sono arrivati, ragazzi, aspettiamo l'ok, possiamo andare per la
Now we get the okay in the background.
della tappa inaugurale del campionato italiano Formula 4 al terzo posto.
Third place, the race 2 winner from Ireland for US Racing, P3 for Alex Dunn.
Seconda posizione dopo il pilota di US Racing per il pilota del team.
The race 1 winner finishes P2 here this afternoon. The Oak Racing Team driver from Brazil for the Prema Power Team, Rafa Kamara, in second place. Laura asked Kasper if he could do it on the grid prior to the race start. Indeed, he's done that. Kasper Stuka stands on the top step of the podium. He wins for the first time in the Italian F4 Championship here at Imola, and we're about to hear for the first time in a long time the national anthem of Poland.
Trofeo d'argento per l'asso giovane talento brasiliano Rafael Kamara. e la vittoria della terza gara di questo primo weekend della stagione Formula 4 tricolore al pilota della Polonia, Kasper Suka. Conquista la vittoria il team US Racing e ora siamo pronti per ascoltare insieme l'inno nazionale della Polonia.
The most competitive junior motor racing series in the world has got off to a fantastic start at the home of the Emilia-Romagna Formula 1 Grand Prix. Rafa Kamara takes victory in race 1, Alex Dunn in race 2 this morning, and all 3 drivers, including the race 3 winner Kasper Stuka, stand on the podium here this afternoon. Well, on behalf of the Automobile Club of Italy and everyone at WSK Promotion, great to have your company throughout the weekend. We'll see you at Misano in 1 month's time.